Very good morning to all the students who are joining us for this DAW session. My name is Rishabh and we are handling with the different DAW sessions, that is daily answer writing, for more than a month now. We would wait for 30 seconds so that all the other students can join. So we are live this morning for a DAW session, that is daily answer writing. In the November month we were doing GS2 and in the December month we are doing the GS3. Okay. So we will be looking at a very interesting question today. Before that, I want to tell to you that if you have any doubt regarding answer writing, you can ask in the comments and we will try to address those doubts within the framework of the question. Okay. Good morning everyone. Good morning Yogesh. Good morning Vignesh. Good morning Kiruba. Everyone, a very warm good morning. Now let's start with the session. We have a 15 marker question, so I am expecting it would take some more time. So let's not waste our time and let's start with the question. The students will join. Examine the implications of high budgetary allocations for food subsidies, specifically in the context of procuring paddy and wheat at the MSP. So we are asked to basically examine the policy of MSP under which we are procuring food, which is further used to provide food to the poor people through kind of a food subsidy regime, where we are procuring the food, the crops at the MSP, and then we are giving them to the poor at a very, very low price. So that becomes part of the food subsidy. How does this contribute to the market distortions? So how does this policy of procuring the crops at MSP, how does this lead to distortion of the market? So one of the implications of MSP is on market. Then the question is explicitly asking that how does this contribute to market distortions? Okay, very, very probable question for the exam. Very, very probable question because MSP is directly there in your topic when you will see the GS3, and almost every year a question is asked whether on the public distribution system, right, or on the MSP or on the cropping patterns. So a very probable question. Let's see how we will make subparts out of this question. So first we will make an introduction. We will see what all can come here. Then we have to examine the implications of food subsidy, specifically in the context of procuring paddy and wheat at MSP. Now we have to understand that how this is a 15 marker. So there is scope that you can expand the question at your own will. So what you can do is either you can introduce the MSP in the introduction itself, or in a very small way you can explain that what is MSP. In a very small part, in a sun diagram model, you can explain what is MSP, and then you can come on that what are the implications. What are the implications of food subsidy? And obviously there will be positive implications, and then there will be certain kind of challenges that this kind of model has created. Okay. Then question is explicitly asking us that how does this contribute to market distortion? So we will elaborate on this. And if we have given this whole story on what are the negative implications, what are the challenges, what are the market distortions, we also must address that how to fix it. We must address how to fix it, and then we will conclude. Now, I am sure that this doubt must be emerging in your mind that, sir, we have made out so many parts. how to write all these parts. So on this I will tell you two things. See, this part of the question and this part of the question, they are explicitly asked in your question. Okay, they are explicitly, मतलब उनका जो जिक्र है वो क्वेश्चन में बिल्कुल डायरेक्टली किया गया है. ओके, तो आपको अपने आंसर का, if this is a 3-page answer, you must dedicate total around not less than 2 pages on this dedicated part. Okay, what you can do is that आप half part में, while you are almost over with the question and half page is left, in the last half page you can talk about how to fix this issue and then conclude, and in the first half you can talk about introduction and MSP. So we have made out the structure, but I am also sharing that what is the space allocation. In the introduction and while you are doing about the MSP, you can give half page, then 1 page you can give implications, 1 page you can give market distortions, and then half page you can tell about how to fix it and then conclude. Okay, I hope that इस चीज में हमारा consensus है and there is no doubt. Okay, now let's move to see that how we can introduce the question. The way to introduce the question is, that we have to find certain keywords. We have to find certain keywords on which we can pick up the question. But what are those keywords? The first keyword is food subsidy. So either we can start a question on food subsidy, then we can start a question on cropping pattern. Why? Because question is directly asking about in the context of procuring paddy and wheat. Okay, or you can start with MSP. These are the 3 major keywords on which you can start the question by giving a background or the context of the answer. Okay, so if we want to start with food subsidy, what we can tell? Question is also asking on its implications. So there will be different kind of implications, right? What is the most important implication? The most important implication is that in the fiscal year 2022-23, the budget for the food subsidy went up to 2.87 lakh crore. Yes, 2.87 lakh crore was the food subsidy bill. So this shows that what are the kind of fiscal implications. And you can also tell that why this food subsidy bill is there. Why this food subsidy bill is there? Because under the National Food Security Act, almost 67% of the population is entitled for food subsidy. Why? Because they are getting food under the National Food Security Act. Then government has to take responsibility for the fiscal burden, and how 67% people are getting different kind of subsidies under the National Food Security Act. Okay, so this is how you can introduce when it comes to the food subsidy. You can also tell that how through the public distribution system, how through the PDS food is being distributed to the people. तो आप food subsidy वाला angle यहां से ला सकते हैं. Then the other thing is cropping pattern. Here you can tell that how the cropping pattern in India has been skewed. How the cropping pattern in India has become cereal centric. Why it has become cereal centric? Because we witnessed the Green Revolution. Okay, under the Green Revolution we witnessed that how wheat and paddy, they were promoted, and now we are majorly growing cereal centric cropping pattern, where other crops are compromised. For example, we lack pulses, we lack millets, and there is a multi-dimensional implication because of this kind of skewed cropping पैटर्न। तो आप यहां से भी इसको इनकलकेट कर सकते हैं। What else you can do? You can talk about what is MSP. You can explain in brief that how MSP is that price at which the government procures. The government goes for procurement of crop field directly from the farmers. And you can tell that it has dual benefits, that is doubling farmer income and also giving food to the people through the PDS. So these are the different kind of conceptual paradigms through which you can start your question. All these kind of introductions are equally valid. Let's see some of the one introduction that we have got in today's copy. In 2023, government had spent nearly 2 lakh crore. This is 2.87 lakh crore. This is not 2 lakh crore on food subsidy bill, making food subsidy expenditure highest among all the other subsidies. That is, this is not clear, of our defense budget. So basically this shows that how we are not making a productive use of our expenditure, how we need more capex. We need more capex to enhance our productivity, but we are doing food subsidy expenditure. One more thing that you can talk about is, हम उसको या फिर implications में ऐड करेंगे, अभी नहीं ऐड करते. Now let's come to that part. So we have addressed this introduction. Now if you have not introduced the MSP in the introduction itself, what you can do is you can talk about MSP briefly. How? You can give the formula for calculating MSP. You can tell that how 23 crops, different crops that are in the bucket for which MSP is being given. You can tell that how the goal for this is doubling farmer income, ensuring food security. Just some brief points about MSP. Okay. Now we will jump to the main part of the question, which is the soul of the question. That is, what are the implications? This is the most important part. See, what happens usually is that when we want to, let me tell you that how our brain thinks. मतलब obviously point हम सबको पता है, पर important ये नहीं है कि मैं आपको वो points बताऊं. It is not really important that I tell you what are the implications. You can see those implications by just googling also. My goal is that how to think. Okay. Now what happens is that because while we were designing that how we are about to make our answer, here because we have made it in our mind that we have to write 5 positive implications and 5 negative implications, what happened is that even when we are trying to produce points in the implications, we are thinking about positive and negative implications. We are thinking about what are all the positive implications, we are thinking about all the negative implications, and this really becomes unsystematic. Rather, the right approach while we are trying to think in our mind that what are the implications is that we try to imagine different stakeholders here. We try to bring in our pastel approach. Okay. Why? Because सबसे पहले से सोच के चलते हैं कि ultimately we are procuring the food from farmers, then we are taking it to the PDS and we are giving those food to the people, but the cost for that is given by the government. So the first implication that will be there will be on the farmer, on the farm side. Farmer के बाद, if farmer is getting any implication, then farmer also has some kind of environment in which that farmer is working. So there will be implications on the land also. Then there will be implications on the environment also. Then there will be implications on the finances also. Finances of the government. What are the implications on the people? Okay. What are the implications on the health? when we will think on these dimensions, we will be able to produce, we will be able to think holistically. वहां से फिर आप उसको पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव में निकालिए, है ना. तो अगर सिर्फ पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव सोचेंगे तो कभी भी सिस्टमैटिक वे में उतने पॉइंट्स नहीं आएंगे. हमेशा ट्राई टू गेट दिस अप्रोच, try to see that how has been the farming community. We will discuss that what I'm trying to say when we will start generating point in each sector. But try to think the problem in a holistic manner. What will be the implications on the storage? So one more very important way to solve this problem is, I'm just showing one alternative. We all know that there are certain upstream processes, there are certain downstream processes. Just try to think about farming from farm to fork, है ना. Try to think that this is farmer. From here, the food will go to procurement center. Okay, food will go to the procurement center. Then from here, it will go to the Food Corporation of India. Food Corporation of India, which is Government of India body. Then from here, it will go to PDS. And from here, it will go to people. Now, just try to imagine the impact that MSP or food subsidy is creating at each level. At the farmer level, what are the implications? That they are getting right price for their produce. Because they are getting right price, it will help in doubling the farmer income. But at the farm level, we are also seeing that how it has led to a skewed cropping pattern, and how when we are moving towards, because question is saying in the context of paddy and wheat, so we have to show, and question is also saying elucidate, so we have to give examples also. You can tell that how Punjab and Haryana, they are not really water rich regions, but there is exploitation of groundwater to get paddy and wheat, especially for paddy. Right? So you have to show that what are the implications on environment at the farmer level. How there is land degradation because there is use of chemicals and fertilizer. And then even there is fertilizer subsidy also. There are bills of around 70,000 crore on the fertilizer subsidy. Right? So अभी हम farmer level पर ही हैं, पर हमने कम से कम 6 implication देख लिए. The impact on farmer, ठीक है, how it is doubling their income, how there is an impact on the cropping pattern, how there is impact on the environment. Why? Because they will be using excessive fertilizers, because ultimately you have to grow these paddy and wheat. When it comes to the North Indian region, they are based on green revolution, they are based on high yield value crops. For that you have to use fertilizers. So how you can even bring in your knowledge of prelims, like how the NPK ratio, the urea, phosphorus and the potassium ratio, they are distorting it to get more and more wheat and paddy. So how this excessive fertilizer use is further leading to land degradation, and it is also leading to heavy fertilizer subsidy bills. Yogesh, when there is elucidate, when there is directive keywords like elucidate or illustrate, what you have to do is, obviously we have to present examples and case studies, but when elucidate and illustrate is there in the question, it becomes almost compulsory to present an example in a case study manner. You have to prove what you are saying and not just say it. For example, if we will say that the NPK ratio has been distorted, we will give the example of Punjab, Haryana, that how there is land degradation, है ना. How we are seeing for paddy, what is happening is groundwater extraction is rising. Because of that, there is lowering of the water table. Okay, because of the, we all know that what happens in Punjab and Haryana, that for paddy growing, they go for flood irrigation. They basically just dig a tube well, they open the water, they flood the whole farm. and what happens is it has an impact on the alkalinity of the soil, right? So these are the implications just at the farmer level. Positive क्या था कि doubling farmer income हो रहा है, उनको right price मिल रही है, they have access to the procurement centers where they can go. If they go to the APMCs, then they might not get the right price. Why? We all know about the APMC issue, right? That how there are middlemen, how they have to do sale which are distress sales in nature, so they do not get the right price, they commit suicide. These are the positive points. Negative points हमने सारे environment वाले, financial वाले हमने यहाँ पे देखे. अब what is happening at the procurement centers? Because government has to procure food also, government has to procure all these. Parvati is asking, shall we have to process high budgetary allocations? Yes, high budgetary allocation is an implication ना यार. आप सोच के देखिए, यहाँ पे जब government of India has to do revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. We all know that how a country should always prefer capital expenditure. But what is happening is that we are doing more revenue expenditure. So how food subsidy is part of a revenue expenditure, and revenue expenditure is not considered as something which is productive. So that is also one of the implication, that food subsidy bill is part of the revenue expenditure which is not really productive in nature. Now implication at the procurement centers. The implication at the procurement centers is that we do not have procurement centers which are digitized. Okay, we do not have procurement centers at the ground level in every villages. So even when it comes to the procurement, we are having a skewed procurement. Why? You will see there is specific data that all the MSP procurement that happens, almost 80 to 90% of the procurement is happening from the North India belt. This shows that how it also has an implication on the balanced regional development, that there are certain areas under which the procurement is not really happening. There is no kind of a procurement center for the MSP. Why I am saying this? That imagine that you are living in Mizoram. We are all part of the Republic of India. We all the farmers have right for MSP. But if you do not have a procurement center near you, then you will not be able to sell your produce, right? So the thing is that only specific part of the country they have access to the MSP because procurement centers are not regionally balanced. So even that is an implication. Now if we come to the Food Corporation of India, Food Corporation of India is the largest entity when it comes to the PDS related issues. Okay, so they have big warehouses. Now they are storing tons and tons of crops. What is happening is that these Food Corporation of India, they are not having that kind of storage warehouses. They are not having that kind of cold storage warehouses. And because of that, there is food wastage also. It is said that tons and tons of food is being, just kept in these Food Corporation of India warehouses, and because there is no proper storage, that leads to food wastage, one of the very important point. Then how you must have read that how Food Corporation of India, what government of India does is that when they want to reduce their food subsidy bills, what they do is that they make those obligations on the Food Corporation of India leading to off budget borrowings. This was a very, very important topic. Off budget borrowings. You must have heard about it. To give you an example, what happened is that imagine that this is Government of India and this is Food Corporation of India. Now to maintain their operations, they have to spend money. They give money to the people because they are procuring the crops, they are also storing the crops. Now they need money for this. They need money to do this, right? And what is the way to get money? That Government of India gives them the money. But when government of India is having fiscal deficit which is very high in nature, government of India is having fiscal deficit which is very high in nature, and they do not want to further enhance their fiscal deficit, they will say that you need money, so you take debt and you show these debt in your own books. You don't bring those debt to us. We will see what to do in future. That kind of debt becomes part of their borrowings. This is called as off budget borrowings. Why? Because these kind of expenditure do not come in the budget of India. They are there on the Food Corporation of India. And then this kind of off budget borrowing has to be given by government of India at some point of time. So how the point that you can write is that how off budget borrowings by the Food Corporation of India to manage the storehouses leads to further shift, basically obligation shift हो जाएगा future generations पर. So how this is fiscally unsustainable. Then at the PDS level, when food comes to the public distribution system shops, PDS shops, fair price shops, what is happening here? We see that there are leakages. What is the meaning of leakage? That suppose 100 kg of food is coming, crops are coming, then out of those 100 kg, 70 kg, 80 kg is going to the black market. Okay, then there are no proper bookkeeping that is happening here. No proper bookkeeping are happening here. Corruption है यहाँ पर, ठीक है, proper time पे shops open नहीं होती है. So all these are the issues at the PDS level. Now when food is going to the people also, because question has this context that what is the implication of paddy and wheat procurement, we have to tell that how it is leading to micronutrient deficiency, because different pulses are not part of the procurement. They are part of the procurement, but majorly the procurement is happening at the wheat and paddy level. So because of that, we are seeing that there is rise of anemia in women. There is rise of hidden hunger within the children. Why? Different micronutrients are deficient. So when we are thinking in such a holistic manner, just try to form the image in your mind from farm to fork. There is a strategy called farm to fork strategy, that if we want to improve the agriculture, we have to think from farm to fork. So even while you are trying to tell the implications, think about farm to fork strategy. That how at every stage, at every stakeholder, what are the implications. This is the most holistic way. Okay, and we will never see, the thing is, I know that this is a very long session, and right now we have the comfort to think in a very comfortable manner what are the points. We do not have this kind of comfort in exam. The point is that when in a daily answer writing process, अभी जब आप भी आंसर लिखोगे, अगर आप डेली इस तरह से सोचना शुरू करोगे, this will become inculcated in your mind and body. For any kind of question, automatically your mind will not have to draw all this rough work. Rather, you will directly start thinking in this manner. Okay, I'll see the comments if there are any doubts. Traveler RP is telling PM Garib Kalyan Yojana extended to. When we are telling the implications, you can tell this in the positive point, that how at the people level, when there was COVID-19 pandemic, then the government of India used the kind of food security it has because of the storage. They used that to give free crops to the people. पर इसका negative implication क्या है? That now this has become part of the freebie culture. How this yojana has been extended almost indefinitely, and it will have fiscal implications. Why? In the 2023 fiscal year itself, we had a food budget of 2.87 lakh crore, and we saw that in the introduction of the student also, that how in comparison to the defense budget, this almost forms 40 to 50% of the defense budget, and it is revenue expenditure, it is not capex. So very good point, Traveler RP. Yogesh is telling Dalwai committee, yes, you can include Dalwai committee, Swaminathan committee, इनको आप ला सकते हैं, ठीक है. Good morning, Bulbul. Sir, elucidate. We have discussed what is elucidate. Procurement, crop wastage is happening. Yes, crop wastage is happening at the FCI level. Due to distorted supply chain. Yes, lack of first in, first out facility led to crop wastage. Yes, yes, Kashish. It also has an adverse implication on the midday meal quality. Yes, we talked about that. That how different kind of pulses, different kind of millets, they are not forming the part of the midday meal. How to even today it is based on wheat and rice. It also Pankaj is asking, sir, should we underline the examples? See, Pankaj, it is always important that in your answer you form your own unique way of presentation. What I used to do in my days of mains exam was that if I'm writing my point, I will give the point, okay, and then what I'll do is when I'll write example, I used to do this. Example PM Garib Kalyan Yojana. So what happens is that when you have done this kind of thing, then after one point of time, this is the point, this is the example, it will become very evident to examiner that the student is making this kind of structure whenever they are giving example. तो आप अपना एक यूनिक स्टाइल बना लीजिए प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए एग्जाम्पल का. जब भी कभी एग्जाम्पल लिखें या तो इस तरह का कर सकते हैं या फिर आप इस तरह का बॉक्स बना सकते हैं एग्जाम्पल के लिए, स्टार बना के लिख सकते हैं, कुछ भी एक. जनरली कुछ कैंडिडेट्स एग्जाम्पल को इस तरह से भी प्रेजेंट करते हैं that they will write their point, okay, and then they will in the mid they will do like this and then they will tell the example. So example should stand out in your copy. Underline से काम नहीं चलेगा. योगेश इज सेइंग 5 की जगह 25 पॉइंट आ गए. See, my goal is not to flood you with information. My goal is not to give you that up. I know that we have only 3 pages, but what I listen from student is that sir we are not able to generate the points. हम कैसे generate करें points? मेरे को ऑलमोस्ट हर स्टूडेंट से यही इशू सुनने को मिलता है कि हम सर पॉइंट्स जनरेट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. सो माय गोल इज दैट in exam we have to write 7-8 points, and in exam scenario if you generate this kind of thinking you will never be short of points. आपके पास 50 पॉइंट होंगे एक आंसर के लिए अगर आप इस तरह की थिंकिंग को डेवलप करेंगे, है ना. तो गोल इज दैट वी टोटली रिमूव द बर्डन ऑफ रिमेंबरिंग एनी पॉइंट्स. To be very frank with you, before coming to this session, while I was reaching here at the office, the only thing which I wanted to see on my way regarding this question, I saw that what question I'm going to take. The only thing which I see was that what is the exact number for the food budget that was there. What is the exactly food subsidy bill? That was the only thing which I wanted to see. Why? Because for other than that, we will think how to generate the points rather than just noticing that these are the 15 points from the book and then writing that. No, that is not our approach. Sir, can we write the methane releasing from paddy? Yes, we have shared that. Environmental impact में again break the environment into different components. Environment में ground water पे impact होगा, ground water के बाद आपका land पर impact होगा, फिर उसके बाद आपने जो emissions वाला point बताया है वो भी होगा, ठीक है. कैसे लैंड डिग्रेडेशन होगा वो भी होगा. उसके बाद जब आप फर्टिलाइजर यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसकी जो लीचिंग हो जाती है, कैसे आपका सरफेस वाटर रन ऑफ से जो रिवर्स में फर्दर जाता है वो भी होगा. बट ये सारे हमें लिखने नहीं है, इनमें से एक या दो ही लिखने हैं हमें, है ना. दैट इज द पॉइंट. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं अब. तो ये सारे हमने यहां पर इनको डिस्कस किया हमने कि व्हाट आर द इम्प्लीकेशंस. एक बार अब जो इस बेस्ट कॉपी निकल के आई थी एक बार हम देख लेते हैं. सो वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट स्टोरेज, फार्मर, लैंड, एनवायरमेंट, हेल्थ, पीपल, फाइनेंसेस. हेल्थ का आप कैसे बोलेंगे? व्हाट इज द इम्प्लीकेशन ऑन द हेल्थ ऑफ पीपल? यू विल टॉक दैट हाउ विमेन आर लैकिंग आर फेसिंग द इश्यूज ऑफ एनीमिया, है ना. और एनीमिया की बात आपको कहां मिलेगी? यू कैन गिव द रिपोर्ट ऑफ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन सर्वे. कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन सर्वे, this is the report done by Niti Aayog. They are doing it year by year. सो यहां पे आप बता सकते हैं कि कैसे एनीमिया का इशू है, कैसे फर्दर स्टंटिंग, अंडरवेट, वेस्टिंग, उनके भी डेटा को आप दे सकते हैं। बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में नहीं देना है, बट सब्सटेंशिएट करना है हमें हर पॉइंट को रिपोर्ट के साथ, जहां पे भी हम कर पा रहे हैं। सो लेट्स सी दैट इन्होंने क्या लिखा है, एक बार देखते हैं इनका कॉपी। implications, positive implications, reduce loss risk for farmer cultivating high intensity crops like paddy and wheat. So how, because the crops will be procured by the FCI, because of that we are seeing that how they are reducing their risk. One more very important point which have just came to my mind, that how we can also include stubble burning, because whole of the Haryana they are growing this paddy and wheat and everything. I think that is happening in the wheat. So how, when it is there, then even stubble burning will be there. अगर वो point connect कर पाए आप तो वो भी कर सकते हैं, है ना? Ensure food security. 67% are secured under the National Food Security Act. One good part which I am seeing in this copy so far is that even in their introduction they were giving data. They gave the data 2 lakh crore. इनका डेटा थोड़ा गलत था, 2.87 है, बट फैक्चुअल आंसर दिख रहा है। 67% दिया हुआ है। प्रमोट न्यूट्रिशनल सिक्योरिटी वाया प्रोक्योरमेंट ऑफ मिलेट्स इन पीडीएस, पर हो नहीं रहे हैं प्रोक्योर। नेगेटिव, देखिए अब क्या हुआ, बिकॉज इन्होंने अपने माइंड में इन्होंने वो नोशन फॉर्म कर लिया है कि मुझे पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव में सोचना है, तो ये पॉजिटिव में बस 3 पे आके रुक गए हैं, ठीक है, पॉजिटिव में और नहीं सोच पाए ये। तो अगर आप स्टेक होल्डर वाइज सोचेंगे तो पॉजिटिव भी आएंगे। नेगेटिव इंप्लीकेशन, एक्सक्लूजनरी इन नेचर, एज ओनली 6% ऑफ द फार्मर्स हैव बेनिफिटेड अंडर एमएसपी। प्रमोट एनवायरमेंटली अनसस्टेनेबल, हाउ 37% of net sown area is under monocropping. Just look at how this जिनकी भी ये कॉपी है, अगर अभी वो लेसन देख रहे हैं तो एक बार कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइएगा। Just look at how this candidate is using keywords. The keyword of net sown area, this shows that this person is well read. Why? Prelims में हम बार बार पढ़ते रहते हैं that net sown area is this and so, but if you will use those language with the relevant context, it will set a very good tone. That how 37% of the net sown area is under monocropping. Increased inequality between small marginal farmers and large farmers. Large farmers को मिल रहा है. It limits the farmers' income. It leads to water crisis. It leads to virtual water trade. Very good. Very very good point. Virtual water trade, इसको नीति आयोग ने बोला है virtual water export. That when we are exporting rice, we are almost exporting water, है ना? Very good point. Creates market distortions and demand supply mismatch. Creates burden on the finances. How food subsidy bill is 2 lakh crore, fertilizer subsidy bill is 1.7 lakh crore. How this creates nutritional insecurity. So points are good, बट अगर ये भी स्टेक होल्डर अप्रोच के साथ जाते तो शायद 2-3 और अच्छे पॉइंट्स इनके पास आते जो हमने देखे थे, है ना? फूड सब्सिडी कंट्रीब्यूट. नाउ लेट्स सी हाउ इट, लेट्स कम टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, दैट हाउ इट इज लीडिंग टू मार्केट डिस्टॉर्शंस. So what is the ultimate meaning of, if there are any kind of market distortions, what is the meaning for that? That market works on the basis of demand and supply. Okay, this is the ultimate notion of market. But when an artificial kind of price will come which is not based on this demand supply notion, then what will happen is that there will be kind of distortions. Why? Because people will not understand that what is the demand, what is the supply, and they will, let me give you an example first. That let's say farmers are growing wheat or rice because they are assured that they will get the MSP. They will get the MSP. They use the fertilizer. They raise a debt of 1 lakh and all this. And now they are somehow not able to sell their crop at the MSP because there is no procurement center nearby. Then when they will go to the market, the prices are very low. The prices are not even half of what is being offered at MSP. So they have to do a distress sale. They have to do a distress sale, and now that leads to farmer suicides, that leads to farmer distress, farmer indebtedness. These are the different implications it has on market. So how, when it comes to the market distortions, the first thing is that demand supply management gets distorted. Then even when it comes to the international trade, it even creates distortions in the international trade. Why? Because we see that how major kind of crops, wheat and paddy and all these crops which are being procured by the government, they are said to be as part of market distortionary process. WTO says that there are different kind of boxes, and the food subsidy bill which you are giving, you cannot really send this kind of food in international trade. So it even distorts the international markets. Okay. Then how ultimately what happens in market is that we see that the real price, the price at the ground level, that becomes very very low because of that, because major kind of procurement is done by market only, है ना. तो अल्टीमेटली मार्केट डिस्टॉर्शंस हमें देखने को मिलेंगे, प्राइस डिस्ट्रप्शन मिलेगा. फर्दर रीजनल हमने डेवलपमेंट की बात करी थी, that how there will be some regions where the market will be flourishing, however कहीं कहीं पे हमारा मार्केट्स पूरा ही डिस्टॉर्टेड होगा, है ना. मेजरली क्या होगा कि एक चीज और देखने को मिलेगी, दैट कंपटीशन विल सफर, देयर विल नॉट बी हेल्दी कंपटीशन. सो मार्केट वाले पॉइंट में जो अपने पहले पॉइंट्स देखे हैं वहीं से ही निकल के आएंगे, कुछ ज्यादा ऐसे अलग नहीं आएगा. Demand supply mismatch of the protein rich farm food. Example, India is largest importer of pulses. So how when we are just focusing on paddy and wheat, how when we are just including the paddy and wheat, then because of that we are importing the palm oil. We can see that how our oil import is very high when it comes to the edible oils. We are importing a lot of edible oils from Malaysia, from different other countries. Right? Why? Because there is no palm oil production. Then we are importing pulses. We are lacking the kind of vegetables that we need for the nutritious diet. Excess supply of rice and wheat in market leads to is in market due to farm to fork strategy. ये उतना point clear नहीं है. Excess supply. So basically how ultimately even market is flushed with rice and wheat. High cost of fruit and vegetable due to lack of cultivation cause food inflation. This point is very good. That how when farmers are just going for wheat and paddy, then there is lack of vegetables, जिससे food inflation देखने को हमें मिलता है. ये अच्छा point था. How it causes nutritional insecurity, we have talked about this. Limits rise of food processing industries. So how when there will not be enough amount of non-cereals produced, then there will be lack of food processing also. Yes, उत्कर्ष, इन्फ्लेशन वाला पॉइंट हमने डिस्कस कर लिया है. Kiruba is asking, shall we include farm laws here to interlink? Farm laws you can give in a conclusion. अभी farm laws का implication नहीं आएगा, अभी market distortion की बात चल रही है ना, so अभी उतना वो सब नहीं आएगा. So this is regarding the implications. Now we have to come to that part where we now we have given 2.5 pages of our question to all this discussion. Now we will move towards what can we do about it. What we can do about it. Way forward पे आते हैं. So way forward is Way forward is that government is saying, the first thing which government is saying is that you must have heard about, you must have, Atul is saying something. India is also the largest producer of pulses and consumer also. That's why we are importing pulses. Okay, he's telling about some point regarding pulses from economic survey. Let's come to the way forward now. So we witnessed different challenges. We witnessed different challenges that we have faced in this model. अब उन्हीं सारे स्टेक होल्डर पे अगर हम सोचना शुरू करें दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ चेंजेस वी कैन मेक. So at the farm level, what we can do is that we promote integrated farming. What do we mean by that? That our goal is to make doubling the farmer income. But what if we introduce integrated farming? That when they are trying to grow paddy, we can try to introduce aquaculture. When they are trying to grow crops, we can also introduce beekeeping. There should be integrated farming system to ensure doubling farming and not the MSP. Okay. Then at the procurement level, what can be done? To offset the environmental impacts, government is also going for organic farming. Different kind of schemes are being started. There is also National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. This is part of the National Action Plan on Climate Change. So National Action Plan on Climate Change के अंदर ही there is National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. Government is talking about जैविक खेती there. Then one very important point, that how when it comes to the procurement, government is saying, you must have heard about the term called packs. I would want students who are coming regularly to the session, that have you heard about this term called packs? PACS, packs. Very, very important point. Okay, so I have not got any reply. I hope that आप PACS के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. PACS is Primary Agricultural Credit Societies. ये question prelims में आया था. This question was there in the prelims. That is why I was expecting that students must know about this. So what are PACS is that government is saying, Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah ji, he's also the Minister of Ministry of Cooperation. So he introduced a program under which the government is planning to make these PACS, Primary Agricultural Credit Societies, as the small procurement centers at every village. Government is having, yes, Kashish has shared primary agricultural. Atul has also shared. Very good. So government is aiming that these PACS will convert into the primary procurement center. They have a goal that we will set up the primary procurement center to be the PACS, and then we can also do, food processing. We can integrate it into the food processing for different other kind of crops. So in this way, the procurement will become more kind of, efficient. Then one other point is that how government is introducing PM Asha. PM Asha is an alternate vision where government is saying, government has brought out 3 different components under the PM Asha scheme. One is that how they can go for private procurement. In the other one, government is saying that you sell your crop in the market, and whatever there is the price deficiency, that we will pay. So this is the price deficiency model. Okay, through these model, government is saying that we want to get rid of the management of the food crops. Okay, now if they get rid of the management, how will they manage to give food to the people? For that, they are saying that we should rather give a direct benefit transfer. Different kind of committees have said, including the Dalwai committee, that how direct benefit transfer should be given to the people rather than procuring it, managing the supply chain, and then giving the food crop itself. There is one more innovative model for it, e-rupee. E-rupee model. What is the e-rupee model? That e-rupee is a person specific and a purpose specific model. Different coupons will be given to the people through which they can go to specific sellers and they can use this coupon just for the kind of product for which that coupon has been given. The agenda is that if you give people to money, then the husband of the lady might go and get drinks for that. They might go to purchase liquor and then do domestic violence. We do not ensure that the food is coming through that money. So that was the problem. And the other problem is that if we are giving some money to the people, then that money might get transferred to some other person. So under this e-rupee scheme, government is introducing coupons which are person specific as well as purpose specific. Only that person through the biometric will be able to use, and for that specific purpose of the food only. Then the other thing they are doing is that how they are going for digitization. They are going for digitization of the public distribution system shops. For that, they have launched different programs under which they are modernizing the PDS shops. Then there is also this model of nutrition gardens. There is this model of nutrition garden which has been introduced in Mizoram and Assam, under which in every school they are doing gardening under the course through which vegetables will be grown and they then will be used in the midday meal scheme. Then we are also promoting millets. Okay, this is the long term vision that you can give, that how we can make this system a better system. Right now, after that we will come to the copy to see इन्होंने कुछ करा है क्या इसके regarding. So they have also given a way forward. Thus, to address the issues, there is need of direct benefit transfer, digitization, PM Asha scheme, farm to fork strategy. So almost all the points that we were talking about, I think 3 of those points are mentioned in their answer, which is very good. Okay. When you are telling direct benefit transfer, you can also give the example of e-rupee. Okay, government is exploring this option. Then thus all the food subsidies necessary to achieve the SDG 2, that is zero hunger, it must be provided judiciously to ensure sustainable growth and doubling farmer income. A very decent introduction. Overall जिनकी भी ये copy है, very good answer, a very very good attempt. And इसी तरह का अगर आप पूरा पेपर करेंगे, you can ensure definitely above average marks in your GS paper. Let's see some of the suggestions. Zero budget, natural farming. Yes, Dharmendra, we can do that. What about ENAM? Very good. You can use ENAM. ENAM भी कर सकते हैं आप. ENAM हमने miss कर दिया. ENAM is good. NABARD is computerizing these packs. Yes, very good point. In budget, this much is allocated to digitize the packs. They are very good, Atul. This point is very good and you can use it. Ultimately, यहाँ पे हम वे फॉरवर्ड में पैक्स बता रहे हैं, तो आप उसको बस ब्रीफली बताइएगा, इतना लंबा मत बताइएगा, है ना. पोषण वाटिकास, आई थिंक अतुल इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द न्यूट्रिशन गार्डन्स. गुड पॉइंट. I am very happy to get the kind of responses which I am getting from the students. This shows that all of us are really brainstorming in these sessions. My goal is never to come and just dictate you the points. This is not that kind of a session. The whole goal is to have a brainstorming, and that is what we are doing. Really glad to see that. So after this we will conclude. Okay, conclusion में आप क्या लिख सकते हैं, जितने हमने पूरे वे फॉरवर्ड बताए हैं वहीं से ही आप कंक्लूजन, आप कुछ भी एक कंक्लूजन उठा के लिख सकते हैं. यू कैन इंक्लूड SDGs, you can include PM Asha scheme, you can include that how there is one more very important suggestion which you can give. So Ashok Dalwai committee, They are saying that how we should reduce this 67% of population who are entitled, and how only the 40% of population, the poorest 40% of the population should be entitled and not 67%. So in this way also we can reduce the food bill. You can include this point also. Okay. If there are any other further doubts regarding this DAW session or answer writing in general, you can reach out to me at Sunya IAS. My name is Rishabh, and we are doing this daily answer writing program. Currently in the December month, we are handling the GS3 module, and you can also become a formal part of this program, where Monday to Saturday, every 10 a.m. we give a question to the students, and next day by 10 a.m., that is within the 24 hours, you have to submit your answer by writing it, by submitting it on a portal. Within 24 to 48 hours, we will evaluate your copy, and then we meet live at YouTube every day at 11:30 a.m. Monday to Saturday. We meet to discuss the questions which we are doing in DAW, and we try to integrate the best practices, how to generate points. Consider this as a live mentorship session for your mains answer writing, especially for those who are starting the answer writing. Okay, so that's it from my side, and I hope that you like this session, and we will meet again tomorrow for a new DAW question. Okay, goodbye and take care.